also protecting you from the colder temperatures at the much higher cruising altitudes. Okay, so if the height's gonna make them chilly and woozy, what about how fast they're flying? Well, to figure this one out, we're gonna need a few key bits of information. How far they traveled and the time frame they do it in. Let's start off with the distance, shall we? Obviously, the pair start off in the city of Agrabah, but Agrabah is not exactly a real place. So how are we supposed to figure out where we're gonna be? Well, we've got ourselves a few options. Geographically, we know that it's a city in the middle of a desert, but we also know it's close to either a lake or large river. We know this thanks to a moment in the middle of the movie when Aladdin is nearly drowned by Jafar's goons. Additionally, we have to remember that the opening song is straight up called Arabian Nights, implying that Agrabah is in Arabia, a very specific place. This peninsula in West Asia between Africa and Southeast Asia. So where exactly are we? Well, a lot of fans online assume that Agrabah is located near the River Jordan, because in the intro, the merchant says this.
Welcome to Agrabah, city of mystery.
The finest merchandise this side of the River Jordan, on sale today!
However, when you actually break down what he's saying here, he's not denoting how close to the River Jordan they are, only that Agrabah has the finest goods on this side of the River Jordan. That could literally mean anywhere to the east or the west of the river. You know, basically the entire planet. Plus, in the Aladdin animated series, though we do occasionally see a river in the show, it's never explicitly called anything, let alone the Jordan. So, long story short, we're actually gonna need something else here. Elsewhere in the opening song, the merchant says that he comes from a faraway place where the caravan camels roam. Camel caravans are actually very much a real thing, most commonly found in the Saharan desert of northern Africa. Though certain breeds of camels were also used for this sort of travel and trade in the Middle East, Central Asia, Mongolia, and China. Again, not really helping us narrow things down all that much, so what else could we look at? We could look at where the actual story of Aladdin originated, which isn't where you'd expect. The original version of the tale actually comes from China. Again, not really working for our story here because this one's clearly based on the Middle East. So then I thought maybe we could use the clothing of the characters and the architecture of the city to try and pin something down. The architecture from Agrabah's palace clearly took inspiration from the Taj Mahal of India. It's even located in a city named Agra. So I thought we might be getting somewhere, but here's the thing. India, it's nowhere near the Arabian Peninsula. Arabian Nights are not happening there in that subcontinent. So back to the drawing board. The clothing. The clothing worn by characters like Aladdin, Jasmine, and the Sultan resemble what would have been worn by citizens of the Iraqi city Baghdad, though with a lot of artistic and cultural shortcuts and inaccuracies thrown in by Disney. So that right there, it's a pretty strong lead that gets even stronger once you consider this. According to John Musker, co-director of the film, the first treatment of the movie was set in Baghdad, Iraq. However, while the movie was in development, the first Gulf War broke out in the area, and corporate executive Roy Disney insisted that Aladdin couldn't be